ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Virtual Warriors episode 542. Woo! As always, I'm your host, Justin Baker, and as always, I'm joined by viable human Chris Saturn.
Hi, Justin.
Hi, Saturn. I was thinking the other day about what are we going to do for episode 666?
We already did Doom, didn't we?
We already did Doom, but it's got to be more satanic than Doom. I don't know. We could do Devil World.
Dungeons and the Dragons.
Dungeons and the Dragons. Yeah, those are both very satanic, as I was told in the 90s. So
and the 80s and the 70s.
And the 80s, and less so in the 70s, but still definitely in the 70s.
Yeah.
Definitely then.
We'll do the Wayne's World video game.
The most satanic of all video games.
Yeah. Well, they talk to Alice Cooper in that movie, so
right.
Basically satanic.
Right. The idea that Alice Cooper could have ever been like edgy is so cute to me now.
My mom had Ozzy and Alice Cooper t-shirts, and the other mothers at my elementary school basically treated her like the devil anytime she would wear those to pick me up.
That's so quaint. Quaint is the word I'm looking for.
And then when she would substitute teach at our school, because she was a sub, she would wear her Garfield t-shirts instead because she didn't want to rile up the other mothers.
What a closet she must have had. Garfield and Ozzy.
Yeah, she had the I Hate Mondays t-shirt, and then she had Ozzy Osbourne literally with the bat head in his mouth t-shirt.
Perfect. Beautiful.
Yeah. Right.
I love it. My week.
Uh-huh.
Not much in the way games. Still playing the Battlefield. They do the daily. I have dailies. It's like an MMO. I got daily and weekly quests I got to complete. So
right, yeah.
And get on there and like shoot people.
Do your roulettes.
And then the other thing is like shoot more people. And then the thing after that is like shoot people like this and shoot people like that. Standard Battlefield stuff. Shoot this guy with a grenade. I wish I was joking. I'm not. They are all specifically. It'll be like, oh, this much damage with a shotgun. It does let you re-roll stuff, which is nice.
It's weird, mostly with online games when they have their weeklies. It's because they're trying to get people to do certain content so that other players will get to experience the content because there's not enough people playing that content.
Right.
And I just have to imagine that somebody at EA is like, oh, not enough people are getting shot in the face with a shotgun.
Yeah, not.
We really want players to be able to experience getting shot in the face with a shotgun. Better make that one of the weekly goals.
Not enough people getting shot directly in the anus with a rocket launcher. Can we make that a quest? Shoot someone in the anus with a rocket launcher 5 times? We'll give you a coin for the battle pass.
Yeah, I've got players complaining that they haven't been shot in the dick with a revolver enough this week.
I am agitated. The best sniper rifle in the game is locked behind the battle pass, which is... And it's not even like a little bit better. It's so much better that it's like, oh, fuck you then. This is fucking absurd. So, of course, I played 1 million hours to unlock it because
there's
no life.
There's I don't know why this made me think of it, but there's a raid in Final Fantasy XIV that's themed after Final Fantasy Tactics. And so one of the bosses is Mustadio from Final Fantasy Tactics, only it's a robot version of him, and he's got a sniper rifle. And... so it's really nothing like Mustadio. But when he goes into his sniper mode, it puts little rings around all the characters, and it's a one-shot kill unless you rearrange your ring so that the gap in the ring is pointed to him. And anytime that it comes up, everybody shouts in the chat, everybody remember to show Mustadio your hole.
Perfect. Internet culture at its finest.
Yep. Just show him your hole or you die. And that's how I assume real sniper rifles work, right? So that's
basically, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not very well acquainted with shooting sniper rifles, but
in the game you are. So
in the game, I do shoot sniper rifles in the
realistic. Game. And so you just make people show you their hole, or you kill them.
Aim center of mass, which is coincidentally the butthole. The mode I mostly play, it's 64 players, but then only 16 of them are humans. The rest are bots. It's called casual mode, so because it's not just people beating the shit out of you.
Right. Yeah.
And it's funny because in it you can always spot the human players because they don't move like the bots, and they do things that bots don't do. And it's always funny where like if like in a game you'll be killing, you kill like 4 or 5 or 10 bots in a row, and then you'll kill a human, and you'll be like, oh, that was a human player. Yeah. And then you end up building these rivalries where then that human player comes back to you to kill you because you killed him. Yeah. And then you're like, well, I'm not gonna let him fucking do that. And it turns into this thing where bots are just running around doing nothing, and 2 humans are just beating the shit out of each other.
See, I thought that you were going to be like, you kill 20 bots, then you kill the one human character, and then you just like freeze mortified, and you're like, oh my god, I killed a human being.
Other than that, prepping for Thanksgiving, which is the Super Bowl for stay-at-home parents. It is my biggest holiday at the house.
I believe it's pronounced Superb Owl.
Yes, my most superb owl. I got an 18.5-pound turkey. I'm preparing, I don't know, at least 10 pounds of stuffing, macaroni, cheese. And if anyone says that doesn't belong at Thanksgiving, you can bite me.
Yeah, they can fuck off.
Cranberry sauce, the corn. You got, all the basics. So I've currently made my second of 3 required grocery trips for my Thanksgiving prep. My final one will be on the Monday before Thanksgiving when I get the very last items, which are the most perishable items, such as celery and whole milk and things like that.
Lubricant.
And lubricant. Yeah, my 50-gallon drum of lube.
Your turkey lube.
Yeah, I like to slip and slide the turkey into the oven, so I got to lube it up real good and then fire it down so it rockets.
Then you
into
dunk it in some lube before you eat it, so you can just pour it down your throat without deboning it.
Yeah, of course. But I'm excited. I've been practicing butchering chickens all year, so I've gotten really good at that. So I'm ready to butcher my Thanksgiving turkey. I hope the skills translate.
I hope you mean actually butchering, and this isn't like a metaphor for using the restroom afterwards.
No, yeah, I'm gonna go butcher my chicken, you guys. I'll be back in a few minutes. No, I started doing it because chicken got so expensive. So now I just buy whole chickens and I butcher them into all the parts that I want. Yeah. And it's like way cheaper. But normally for Thanksgiving, I would do the little electric knife thing, which it doesn't matter if you're good at it or not. It'll cut through fucking anything.
Yeah, it's great. Love it.
But this year, I'm going to try a regular knife. I'm going to butcher it correctly.
I see.
And so we'll see how it goes. What have you been doing?
I got talked into working on Thanksgiving.
Oh no!
Not on Thanksgiving Day, but on the day after, which is
Black
supposed
Friday.
To be a holiday.
Yeah.
So we've got some contractors coming in because they're expanding our building because we're getting more business. And so they're expanding part of the building, and they're dropping a bunch of network lines. And we had a bunch of contractors coming out on Thanksgiving Day. And one of the other guys who does not celebrate Thanksgiving because he doesn't normally live in the U.S., he's just here temporarily. Mm-hmm. He was like, I'll work on Thursday if someone else will work Friday. And I thought that it was my regular work day because I'd normally work on Fridays. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to work on Friday, whatever. And it wasn't until after I had told all the managers that I would be there that they were like, that's a holiday and you don't have to be there. I'm like, what? Wait, what? Oh, shit. So now I'm going to be there. So I get to watch the contractors install network lines.
You get time and a half at least?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I get double time and a half.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, because I'm third shift and it's a holiday, so yeah, it's, I'm getting paid plenty for it. So
make that money,
right?
There you go.
I did start playing some Dragon Quest X.
How is it?
It's neat. It feels somewhere between a PS2 action RPG and Final Fantasy XI.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah, but with Dragon Quest graphics, which aged a lot better than Final Fantasy XI.
Yeah.
There are times when I'm playing it when I'm like, oh yeah, this is a port of a Wii game to PC.
Right.
So it's a little weird. It definitely requires a controller. Like, if you don't have a controller, it has this little on-screen interface that looks like a controller that just has letters on it so that you can press those keys on your keyboard.
Yeah.
But it is definitely controller first game.
Yeah.
So the game itself obviously was not released in English. Mm-hmm. And it is geo-locked. You can only play it if your IP address is in Japan or the US. I don't know why it accepts the US, but I'm okay with that.
All right.
And since the game itself is not in English, you need a translation if you do not speak the Japanese anyway.
Correct.
And, fortunately, there's a team called DQ10 Clarity that have made a very, very good translation for the application and for the game client. And they have since released some instructions to install it on Steam Deck, which works on Linux, which is great because I'm running Linux.
Mm-hmm.
So I installed it on my Linux machine, and the way they have it installed, because it uses Proton as its translation layer to run the Windows application in Linux, is you add it as a non-Steam client so that it'll use Proton, then it'll install, and then you do it again for the translation. You do that, and it installs the translation on top of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then you install Python because it needs Python to run. So you do that, and then it installs it, and everything works. And I did that, and then I told it to remove the installer from Steam, and I didn't realize that the entire game had installed in the compatibility data folder for the installer. So Steam just deleted fucking everything.
Oh, that's nice.
So then I had to do it again. And then I followed the instructions, and I saw at the very bottom of the instructions, the line that I ignored the first time was, make sure you rename the installer in Steam to the game itself and use that as your shortcut. Otherwise, it'll delete the whole fucking game because you're an idiot. And it's like, oh, okay, cool, I'll do that. And then I started playing it, and it's neat. So the game starts you out in a little tutorial area. Because you create a character, you create a little human Dragon Quest-y character, and you play this little tutorial where it teaches you how to play the game with some NPC party members and stuff. And then a tragedy happens, and only the chosen one can survive.
Right, of course, yeah.
But it's not
coincidentally. It's not you.
Turns out it's your sister. You get to fucking die.
Oh,
and then
how nice.
And then you leave the tutorial area as a ghost, and it's like, all right, now pick your real race and job. And then you get to go inhabit that body and start the real game.
Okay, then.
But that did take me off guard, because when it was like, only the chosen one will survive, I'll be like, okay, yeah. So I get to survive and be the chosen one. Oh, shit, no, I'm fucking dead now. But no, it's neat. I'm still at the very, very, very beginning. I just finished creating my real character. I was going to choose a little midget character like I do in all of my games, a little tiny person character. But I was like, no, I'm going to be a tall person this time. But when I was making the tiny person, the little weird race, it's Piku Pello, I think. I don't remember. It's whatever. Square Enix has to use a different weird made up word for their tiny people and all their
right every time. Yeah, it's got to be some new thing.
Yeah, and this one, because it is Dragon Quest themed, you can give him basically a Slime's face, where it's just the two perfectly circular eyes and the perfect mouth.
The little line mouth, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, no, I can't do the entire game with resting slime face. I can't do that. So I chose the Zora equivalent. Basically looks like a Zelda Zora character, but in Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see how that goes. But it's neat. So far I'm appreciating it. It does use machine learning for the translation. So for a lot of the game's translated text, you have to supply either, you can ask them to use Google Translate Free, which sucks real bad, or you can supply an API for DeepL or for Google Translate. And I already have a Google account, so I told it to apply that one. And sometimes it translates the same word differently in different sentences, which has been a little weird. But it's surprisingly effective. I've
functional.
I've been impressed with how functional it is. So we'll see how far I go with it.
Well,
I'm just playing the free trial though. So
you had tried it before, didn't you?
Yeah, I got into the tutorial and then just kind of got distracted by something else. So I was able to resume the same character from the tutorial and finish the tutorial area. Yeah.
Let's do some news.
Okay.
First off, Falcom has confirmed that Trails in the Sky's second chapter is coming in 2026, which is perfect. That means maybe after I finish Cold Steel 2 and then Azure and Zero and then Sky 1, Sky 2 will be out. And
I'd recommend Sky 1 and 2 before Zero and Azure.
Oh, fuck. Well, then, yeah. Okay, well, should I do all 3 Sky before Zero and Azure?
If you're going to do 3, then yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah. But, if you have to skip 3, that's the one that is skippable, but there's still some really cool stuff that happens.
Well, I was just thinking today, I was like, after we finish, these shows, I might get back to Cold Steel.
Yeah.
Because I've had Dragon Quest stuck on my PlayStation for a week. and some, I might get back to doing some Cold Steel stuff.
Yeah.
Fun. It'll be fun. Anyway, ArtDink has announced ArtDink Game Log, a project to port as many of their old games to modern platforms as possible. And ArtDink has some weird old stuff.
Yeah, they're the no one can stop Mr. Domino people.
They've done lots of strange things. Didn't they do a bunch of train games, like Japanese rail games?
Yeah, I think they did A-Train.
Yeah. Was A-Train ArtDink?
I think it was. I think.
I swear they did.
I could be off, but I'm pretty sure they... Yeah. They did do the A-Train games, yes.
Yeah.
Of course, they also did the game we're talking about today. So
right, yeah, they did indeed.
They've done some good things, too.
Valve announced some things. New Steam hardware, which is very exciting. Steam Controller V2 includes all the inputs that the Steam Deck does, as well as gyro aiming via dedicated rear paddles. This is all very exciting. It's just, someone said in our chat, I was hoping it would just be a Steam Deck with no screen in the middle, and that's very much
basically
what it is. And for people that have not experienced the Steam Deck touchpads for mouse input, I'd say they're about as good as you're going to get without actually using a mouse.
And much better than the original Steam controller touchpads.
Oh, 1,000 times better. Yes. It includes a charging connector that doubles as a wireless receiver, which I love. It's not just plain Bluetooth, so it should have lower latency, and it's got a little charging dock. It's just very nice. It's very neat. They also announced...
They did mention you could also charge via USB-C as well in case you lose this.
Yes. So. They did also announce the Steam Machine, which is, exciting but not shocking to anyone.
Yes.
It is a consoleized PC running SteamOS with higher specs than the Steam Deck. I think the video was quoted as saying it's as powerful as like 6 Steam Decks or something, which who knows how they measured that,
Right. Well, they then went on to explain exactly what the specs were, and
right. No, we have the full specs.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't expect it to run 6 times faster than a Steam Deck. You know what I mean? Like that's not
based on what they've described. I expect around PS5 performance, maybe slightly worse in some games, slightly better in other games.
Yeah.
So that's about what I would expect.
It is a quote semi-custom Zen 4 CPU with RDNA 3. GPU, 16 gigs of RAM, which
a little light, but it's okay. 16 gigs is for a Linux based.
It'll get you by in Linux,
machine. Yeah.
8 gigs VRAM.
That's
there's
the one I'm more worried about. I'm a little more worried about 8 gigs of VRAM especially with Unreal Engine 5 games. That's just not enough.
There's a 0.5 terabyte and 2 terabyte SSD models. And it only supports HDMI 2/DisplayPort 1.4, 4K 240 on DisplayPort, 4K 120 on HDMI, HDR FreeSync, etc. All the buzzwords.
Apparently, hardware-wise, it does support HDMI 2.1, but software-wise, they aren't legally allowed to say it does because AMD's Linux driver can't support that without paying a license. Yeah. So yeah.
What's exciting about this to me is a couple things. One, it's just cool. Two, they've already been like, look, it's a PC, you can install whatever you want on it. So tiny little Linux PC, cool to begin with.
Yes. I keep seeing people calling it the Gabe Cube.
The Gabe Cube, yeah.
And I like that. It's cute.
Also, it's very small.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, very small. And if this thing can get near PS5 performance in 20% of the footprint, that's just hardware-wise pretty impressive. Granted, PS5's 5.5 years old or whatever now, but still, it's still cool to see just from a technological standpoint. I'm kind of excited by this. My living room PC is kind of getting long in the tooth, and I've been trying to decide what I want to do. My big thing is going to be price. My worry is it's going to be $9.99. That's my worry.
That's my fear too. So
that's the price point I'm thinking it's going to land at.
What concerns me is if they can get it $500 or less, I think it's
slam dunk.
Utter
slam dunk.
Gonna sell like hotcakes.
I think honestly, $700 or below, it'd still be a slam dunk.
See, I question that because again, if it's just under PS5 quality on a lot of games, and people could just go get a PS5 for less. I don't know if it's going to find a new market, if it'll just be, Steam Deck owners who want a home console. So I'm a little worried about price. I was just reading before we started recording The guy from Linus Tech Tips apparently in his interview with Valve had asked them about the price, and they said or he had asked them, will it be around console price? And they said, well, it really depends on what you mean by console price, but yeah, it could be in that area.
$499.
and he said, well, like around $500. And he said when he said that, he got a bunch of uncomfortable looks from the room.
Yeah,
and that's concerning to me.
I really think it's going to come in at $999. I think between shortages, between hardware, between the smaller scale that Valve does things compared, they're not making as many of these as there are PS5s and Xboxes. They're just, it's not the same scale. I know they're a big company, but they just aren't producing hardware on this same kind of scale. That's why it's not in every Walmart and Best Buy and everything. It's just not the same.
At $1,000 though, I don't know that it has. I don't know that it's going to sell all that well, because that's double the price of a PS5.
I don't know either,
and it's double the price of a Steam Deck too.
It is indeed. So. Granted, I think if it's under 700, it'll do okay. I think, like you said, if it's 500 or under, I think it's going to crush it.
Oh yeah,
I think it'll be outstanding.
They're going to make plenty of money off of them just from software sales.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I'm. My thing is price.
Same.
I'm nervous about the price. I will say this: if they can get the price tuned just right.
Yeah,
there are so many people that are fed up and upset with Windows right now.
Yep,
huge amounts. People I never thought would be like, "Hey, I'm kind of frustrated with Windows. Is there something else that I never thought I'd fucking hear that from?" Or saying this shit now.
Yeah.
And for Valve to show up and be like, "If you play video games and you're sick of Windows, here you go." So I'm excited. Technologically, I'm excited as far as moving Linux gaming forward. I'm excited as far as Windows alternatives. Again, it's Steam, which is a lockdown DRM platform, and I'm nervous about price. So those are, it's kind of my pros and cons.
You don't have to stick to Steam.
You can put whatever you want on it. So
you can do whatever you want.
What it is.
And they were very open about that, and I appreciate it.
They also announced the Steam Frame.
This is the most exciting announcement to me.
Really?
Yes.
This is the one that I kind of don't give a shit about.
Talk about it, and then I'll explain why. I'm excited
new
about
VR headset running SteamOS on a Snapdragon 8 processor with 16 gigs RAM. There's two different storage models. This is a standalone device, much like the Oculus Quest lines. This is not, you don't have to, I think you can use it hooked up to something, but it is its own standalone device. 2160 by 2160.
They said it was a streaming first device. They expect you to use another piece of hardware with it. While it can work standalone, they are not advertising it that way.
Theoretically, streaming from your Steam machine, I think, would be to them their ideal situation.
Yeah. Well, they said any Steam-based device.
Right. I presume it would work with any Steam stuff, but 2160 by 2160 per eye with 72 to 144 hertz refresh rate, which is
So let me explain why this is exciting to me. One, because it moves VR forward in Linux. That's neat. But more importantly, it's running SteamOS on a Snapdragon, which means it is SteamOS for ARM, and they said it should work with most of your Steam library. They have teamed up with it's called FEX, F-E-X, I think, which is a translation layer similar to Proton, but it's between x86 64 and ARM. So it's basically Proton for ARM, and they said it'll run Android APK files as well, which implies to me it could be running something based on Android, which Snapdragon 8 is used on a shitload of Android devices.
Yeah.
If that's the case, we could see in, maybe not this year, but in the, next 5-ish years, much better compatibility between our existing Steam libraries and PC gaming on ARM chips, which that's going to break the PC market wide open. Instead of us having to rely on Intel and AMD, we could be looking at much cheaper, much more powerful chips running PC games in the future. And that's very exciting.
Insane battery life for people that have not had the pleasure of using an ARM laptop.
Right.
Nothing like having a laptop last 3 days on a charge.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, it didn't even occur to me, but that is exciting. I don't give a shit about the product, but technologically, that's extremely exciting.
VR is neat. It's a neat idea, but I'm more excited about SteamOS on ARM. I feel like that was the buried lead in all the coverage about all of this.
Yeah, it kind of was. It hadn't even occurred to me until just now. So yeah,
very excited about it.
Layoffs at Crystal Dynamics, which is unfortunate.
Not good. And part of me, when I first saw this news, was like, oh, good job, guys, running off to Embracer Group when you could have stayed at Square Enix. But then last episode, we just talked about Square Enix shit-canning most of their Western staff, so they would have been fucked either way. Yeah. And it's just very disappointing.
Ease 10 Nordics is getting a PS5 release, supports 4K 120. This is the upgraded version of Ease 10.
Yes, which was previously Switch 2 exclusive, I think, or Switch exclusive.
Something exclusive.
Yeah, it was Nintendo exclusive one way or another.
Yeah. Analog 64, the Analog's FPGA in 64, is
Analog
shipping
3D
now.
is what they call it.
The what?
They call it Analog 3D is the name.
Oh, the Analog 3D is shipping now. It's getting glazed by a bunch of reviews despite several advertised features missing at launch and removed from the website. I think the list that they said they would have, someone put in the Discord, it was like a save state, some other stuff. Basically, it's just super bare bones, which it doesn't shock anyone that's bought an analog product before. That's kind of their thing, is I'm sure in a year or two it'll be a nice device, but
yeah, it was save states, screenshots, alternate library views, library search functionality, RTC, and Xbox controller support are all features that they had originally advertised. They have since removed all those from the website, and the product does not support any of them.
Yeah, that's extremely upsetting for people that pre-ordered a long time ago on the promise of those features.
But it is being absolutely glazed by all the reviews. Everybody is saying that it is just the best N64. I saw my phone pushed a news article to me that said the console that your N64 games deserve. And my first thought when I saw that was, oh, it's a PlayStation 1?
I'll say this to the credit of those reviewers. N64 is a garbage platform.
Yep.
And what I mean is technologically it sucks and applies this awful anti-aliasing layer and just makes everything kind of look like shit.
Yeah.
So just running your N64 carts well without that is already a breakthrough in the realm of running original N64 carts. My issue isn't that. My issue is that they lied, which they've been known to do many times. So,
and on such a premium priced product is pretty frustrating.
Red Viper, the 3DS Virtual Boy emulator, has been updated to allow for local multiplayer, which is cool.
You know, I could see an alternate world where Nintendo kept using the Boy line and just made DS Boy and then 3DS Boy.
I would like
next
that.
Consoles.
The Switch Boy.
Yeah. Oh God. Now Switch Boy.
Yoko Taro says he's been working on multiple projects, but they all keep getting canceled.
You know,
it's just the state of things.
With Square Enix these days, that makes sense to me. I believe that.
Yeah, not shocking. Rebecca Heinemann, co-founder of Interplay that we talked about a few weeks ago, has unfortunately passed away at the age of 62. This is following her wife, Janelle Jaquez, that passed away a year ago, who is also extremely influential, not just in tabletop game design, but also in video games.
Yeah,
so it's unfortunate.
And we had just talked a few weeks ago about her having to crowdfund her healthcare, and that to have lost that battle so shortly afterwards, that's just real tragic.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah. In stupider news, GameStop is having a trade anything in day, which is
that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
So what is the limit? Can I bring in like a wheel of cheese? Like what are we talking about here?
I don't know.
Is it only electronics, or can I come in with like a roadkill? Or
the advertising implied that it was anything that they could donate or recycle. They said that they would take in like canned food.
What?
And from what I understand, it was one item per customer.
And they only give you $5. I think
$5 for no matter what all you bring in.
Yeah.
And they prefer that it be something either recyclable or that they could donate like canned food or clothing. But it's just, what a weird fucking world GameStop lives in now. Maybe this is their way to finally get back all those Funkos they sold for the last
I think
years.
it's just them straight up being like, this is one step away from just being the pawn shop that they've always wanted to be.
Yeah.
I think this is it.
Well, they don't plan on reselling any of this.
That's true, but they're gonna get people used to bringing in weird shit, and then they're just gonna be like, let's lean into it.
Yeah, can I bring in my old broken saxophone?
Sure.
Come on in.
And finally, Capcom and SNK/Neo Geo are getting themed editions of P-Cross S for Switch. These are an immediate buy for me. I love P-Cross S. It's really good P-Cross, and I like Capcom, and I like Neo Geo, and this is cool.
Yeah, it's adorable. I really liked when Konami did this themselves a few years ago on mobile phones, and so I'm all for getting Capcom and SNK versions of it.
Same. Which brings us to our topic at hand, which is Dragon Quest 1+2 HD-2D Remake 2.
It's Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD-2D Remake, but only Part 1, Part 2.
But only part 1, Part 2. Right.
Yes.
More Dragon, more Quest.
I didn't want to put 2 in there because that caused confusion because we're not doing Dragon Quest 2.
Spoilers ahead. This is our story episode. We're going to talk about the story in this game. There is more story in this version of the game. It's not just B-Man kill Dragon Lord. There's a lot more story. So spoilers ahead. I will go ahead and say this. The story is still pretty boilerplate.
Still
not
pretty vanilla.
Not a lot of twists and turns. So I don't think it would ruin anything for people that aren't too averse to it. This isn't like Cold Steel's when we were like, for the love of God, please fucking play the game before you.
I think being a remake of Dragon Quest 1, the gameplay still stands center stage over the story.
Yeah. So just throw that out there. I'll read the exploration section you kindly put in here since you're going to be doing so much more reading in the rest of the story to save you from having to talk continuously for the next hour.
I appreciate that.
But I want everyone to know that you wrote these notes, so I take no responsibility for what you've put here. This is just kind of stuff they've added, exploration-based mechanics and things that they've added to this version of the game. Similar to prior remakes, doors automatically open when you walk into them, which is nice.
Yes.
There's just a general purpose interact button. You don't have to do the sub menus to talk and go upstairs and shit like that.
Yeah.
The zoom spell can now work anywhere, which we talked a little bit about last session. Even in the very bottom of a dungeon, inside buildings, and the game even makes a point to tell you that, like you can zoom even when inside. For
I do like the tooltip for it. The tooltip says you can even zoom inside of buildings. You won't hit your head on the ceiling or anything, like magic. Like
that's been my argument the whole time. It's fucking magic.
Yeah.
Why do I need? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
You can teleport to more locations.
Yes.
Really everywhere. Basically location in the game.
The only places you can't teleport to are the special spots.
Yeah, and everywhere else is fair game. Holding the menu button from the zoom menu will teleport you outside, which we talked about last episode. There is a quick command menu available with the R1 button that lets you map spells and abilities of your choosing. I used this a lot.
Yeah, I used it pretty extensively.
Especially for grinding, I would have whistle.
Have whistle on there.
And then for treasure hunting, it'd be peep, and then nose for treasure or whatever.
No, Snoop and nose for treasure.
Snoop, not peep. Yep. Peep lets you look inside of treasure chests.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yep.
I liked the quick command. I wish they had a second one for L1 so I could have four more. It was kind of annoying being stuck with 4 because there was like 5 or 6 I really wanted there.
What they should have put on L1 is auto run, because after having played so much of Final Fantasy 11 and 14 and Dragon Quest 10 lately, every game needs auto run. Just forevermore.
This is true.
Just give every game
especially a game
run.
with such big zones.
Yes.
Zones are huge.
Oh, yeah.
I really would have liked to see more of those quick commands. Would have been cool. Yeah. No more torches. You automatically light a torch when you go into caves and dungeons, which is...
And it lasts forever now. So
lasts forever. It's a cute little effect and a fun little throwback. They could have just as easily not included it at all and just had them be lit.
Lit up, yeah.
But they got to follow D&D rules where you got to have a torch because unless you're a demi-human race and then you have infravision. But you're not. You're just a dude. The on-screen map is available for all locations.
Yep.
That includes indicators for locked doors as well, and optionally treasure chests if you have it turned on. And there's a mini-map everywhere except for the weird wood when you have not gotten the necklace.
Right. And also, inexplicably, the special spots and inside of homes.
Yes.
They get no mini-map for some reason.
Yeah, oddly enough.
Yeah.
I did appreciate this a lot. I struggle with navigation in 2D games, and so I enjoyed having maps of everything and all the chests and everything marked, and it was very nice.
It's
It did take me a while to figure out the range of Snoop. I think it's whatever is present on your mini map is everything that'll light up.
It's a combination of what's visible on your mini map and what is visible on your screen.
Oh.
So if something is visible on screen but not on your mini map, it'll still light up, and also if it's visible on your mini map but not on your screen, it'll light up.
Yeah.
I would like to say it's weird that you struggle with navigation in 2D games and I struggle with navigation in 3D games.
Yeah.
So if the two of us are together, we can find our way around.
Well, 3D navigation doesn't give me as much because I already navigate in the third dimension every day of my life, so I'm accustomed to that.
Even in real life, if I'm driving around, I'll have no idea where I'm at unless I have looked at that area on a map. If I've looked at it top down on a 2D map for a while, I'm like, oh, okay, all these areas make sense to me now when I'm actually navigating them.
No, you show me a fucking 2D map of something, a top-down map, then have me go there. I cannot. What happened was you showed me a picture of something, and now I'm in a place. That's all that happened. No information is retained.
Yeah, that's I need it.
There's a run button or a run toggle, but
optional,
it's just kind of you don't go very fast. Unlike the original game, you can now find items in barrels, pots, dressers, cabinets littered about the ground in patches of grass, on statues, all sorts of places, much like later Dragon Quest games. Secret spots are littered throughout the overworld. There's no enemy encounters there, but you can find items and NPCs and mini medals and stuff like that. Some of them have very deviously hidden items that I could not find until I got the Snoop ability at almost the complete end of the game because I missed it.
So there's a dude in Remulder that when you talk to him, or no, it's a special spot just outside of Remulder. When you talk to the people there, they're like, hey, there's another special spot to the north of here where somebody left something very important in front of a tree. And I was like, I just came from there. There wasn't anything in front of a tree. And then I go back to it and I searched there and found my first boomerang real early in the game. And I was like, oh shit, there's stuff just like on the floor too that's not shiny.
Yes.
Oh, god damn it.
I didn't realize that for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I started searching everywhere, and then I got the Snoop spell, and I was like, oh, never mind, I don't have to search everywhere.
It reached a point where I was hurting my thumb because anytime I was walking, I was mashing the X button.
Yep.
So yeah. Shiny spots are littered throughout the world. They're just kind of items, just random items dumped in the overworld.
Yeah.
Many new locations are present that were not in prior versions. Other locations have been changed drastically, which Saturn's about to talk about. Several locations don't really serve a specific story purpose, but they just make the world feel more like a world that exists and isn't just, 3 dungeons and 2 optionals and a boss fight.
Yeah, like random inns added to various locations.
Yeah. And along with the peep spell, they brought over mimics and what are they? Canna boxes.
Yeah, because they hate me.
And so now you get to deal with that fucking shit.
I hate them. I hate them in every game they're in. Every game that has a mimic, fuck off.
Mimic, also a D&D mainstay.
Yep.
So just throwing it out there. I have a monster book for a certain tabletop RPG, and it has mimics of all types. Like this is a cloak, and this one's a chair, and this one's a princess in distress that splits in half and is a giant toothy mouth that eats people.
Excellent. Yeah, the mimics that I can think of in the Dragon Quest series, so they started with just chests. And then eventually they added the pots and then the wells that were mimics.
Oh, I didn't know they had wells.
Yeah, that started in Dragon Quest 6 or 7. I think it was 6. Where
Speaking of, they added wells to this one.
That's true. Yeah, they did add wells
now,
as well.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
take us into the story, because I have a lot to say about this story that didn't have a lot to say.
I didn't have nearly as many complaints about the story as you did. First of all,
I want to say up front, because I'm about to bitch for 30 minutes. I don't think the story was bad.
Yeah, I thought it was fine.
I really don't. It was fine. It was just boring.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. I thought it was the same as the original, just more fleshed out. But we'll get to that.
The original's also. Yeah, you go ahead. I'll talk more later.
So it starts out basically like the original game. However, we get an earlier segment where the hero hears a voice in his sleep telling him to start his quest, and then you get a little intro cinematic where he's defending some of the local guards of Tantagel before being introduced to the king. Mm-hmm. And also, because it's voiced, I got to hear that it was Tantagel, and I've been calling it Tantagel my entire life. And that's
me too, and I don't like the soft G in Tantagel. I don't enjoy that, but now I know I'm wrong. So
almost everything else was pronounced the way that I've always pronounced it, and I was okay with that. But that one was off, and it fucked me.
Tantagel.
Yeah, I don't like that. I think I started calling it Tantagel because of Captain N, which also probably mispronounced a lot of things.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't trust Captain N to be accurate to anything, even its own mythos.
Seriously. So the king, whereas in the original game, he was just like, go stop the Dragon Lord, whatever. Now he instead tasks you with visiting Erdrick's Hollow, which is the dungeon just north of town, which now has monsters in it. And it's no longer optional. So you go in there, and there's a brief little story segment in there where you meet another band of traveling adventurers, which I liked. I like the idea that there are other people out there trying to stop the Dragon Lord. It's not just you.
Yeah, and they're like a proper JRPG party.
Yeah, they're your default Dragon Quest III party.
And they're kind of fuck-ups, which is fun. Like, I thought that I really, honestly, I thought the story was going to feature them a lot more than it did. And I wished it had, because I liked them. I thought they brought a little bit of comedy. They're really, the story in general, tonally, in the first third, has much more comedic relief and silliness. Yeah. And then in the last 2/3 is just very serious.
Kind of vanilla,
dark, and so it kind of tonally jumps around a little bit. But I was wanting more of that first third where it's kind of silly, you know.
Yeah, and the adventurer band, they remind me of a very similar bit that they did in Final Fantasy 14, where you encounter another group of adventurers. Only in 14 it went really fucking dark, where one of them ended up going crazy and murdering her teammate. And
that's sad.
Anyway, mild spoilers for the first 20 levels of Final Fantasy 14. Anyway, so you go to the thing, you see Edric's shrine monument. It's not his grave. It's just some words he wrote down. And then you get to head east towards Cole, and you encounter the Tantagel guards that you helped earlier in the game. They're having trouble on a bridge, and you kind of help them out, and you go off to Cole. The Shrine of Rain is now a full tower like it is in Dragon Quest III, which I guess makes more sense. The man there, he refuses to help you. In the original game, it was until you brought him the harp. Now he just wants you to prove that you're truly the scion of Erdrick, and he tells you that he's supposed to wait until you get the harp, but he doesn't really care about the harp. He really just wants you to prove who you are. And then you see a cutaway scene where Gwaelin is interacting with the goddess Rubis, presumably telepathically or something, but she has some sort of connection to Rubis now. Which
there's a whole lot of, by the end of the game, I was calling them phone calls, but there's a whole lot of telepathic communication going on in this game.
Yeah. Which, in the original, Rubis didn't exist at all. She wasn't a character until Dragon Quest II.
Yeah.
So they're kind of, retconning her into the original, which makes sense. And in the original, the only telepathic communication was between our hero and Gwaelin, and only once you got the token of her love, which allowed you to communicate. But in this version, Gwaelin is doing all kinds of telepathy, mostly with Rubis and you, but she seems to have all kinds of telepathic power.
It's never really explained either as a power. No. It's just like, no, this is just phone calls. You just get phone calls.
She talks to everybody.
I get that they stuck Rubis in here to have like story continuity with the other game, and then I get that. She served virtually no purpose.
Right.
She's kind of useless and does nothing, and finally shows up and is like, "I'm here now. You get the darkness is gone," and you're like, "Okay,
yeah,
thanks."
And really,
you didn't do anything.
Really, she felt less useful than me because I had to do all the effort to
you did the
summon
work.
her, and then I just summon her real quick. She's like, "Okay, done. Yeah, finish things," and then she just f's off.
She really does. There's no point in her being in the story, and so much of the story is focused on her.
Yeah,
just nonstop, and it was kind of she was kind of annoying. I think it's what
she was really phoned in to the story.
I was like, we don't need this at all.
So we go to Galenholm, and which in the original game is kind of a throwaway location until you have to visit the grave there very late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But this time when we go there, we find that there's a swindler trying to sell the thief's key, which was once used by Erdrick for an exorbitant sum, which is neat. I do like that they added in the other keys. If they're gonna add in the keys, the fact that they made them keepsakes from Erdrick, that makes it a little neat. At least it fits story-wise.
Yeah.
And of course, nobody can afford it for the sum that he's selling it for, and you encounter the same adventurer group, and they're like, "Oh, we really want it because we want to go on this adventure, but we can't afford it." And he runs off to this new location, which is an inn that's located between Galenholm and Damdara. So you go down there, and when you get there, you find he's been robbed of his key.
Mm-hmm.
The robbers have headed to the Craggy Cave, which is no longer optional like it was in the original. I assumed it was going to be optional, so I visited it way before this point. I'd already cleared out the cave. It was empty. I'd been there. I checked it out. It's like, I don't know why there's all this extra theming in here now.
Robbery, Saturn.
Yeah. I had completely explored it. I was like, there's all this theming in here, like there's some thieves living in here now or something, but whatever. And then this story event happened. They're like, oh, they ran off the Craggy Cave. I'm like, no, I've already been there. There's nobody there. And so I go there, and now there's all the story events. So when you go there, you encounter Robin Hood and his hoodlums.
I liked this bit a lot. It was very cute. He's a fun character with a fun accent, and in what is otherwise a pretty dour and serious game.
So,
and he's also one of the few named characters in the game. Almost none of the characters are named.
So he's a recurring character through the series.
I remember him. I remember fighting him on the stupid tower in DQ3.
Yeah, in Dragon Quest III. And so in Dragon Quest III, you can encounter him in Tantagel real late in the game, because he fell in the pit that you fell in to go to Alefgard.
Mm-hmm.
And he immediately started trying to rob people and was locked up in Tantagel. And he's like, oh, I'm totally going to reform now. I learned my ways. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I stole from you like 30 hours of game ago, and I'm sorry I stole from these people too. So definitely I'm going to change my ways. Yeah. And in this, his descendant, who is still going by the name Robin Hood, has carried on his ancestors' legacy of being a thief. Only he has heard over the years that his ancestor was such an important thief that he saved the realm, and that Erdrick was one of his lackeys.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is his headcanon of the events of Dragon Quest III. And so he thinks that since you are a descendant of one of his lackeys, he should treat you with respect. And so he has agreed to let you join his team by going into the cave and saving his henchman who has gotten lost in there.
Yeah, he'll allow you to do that for him.
Yeah, he's going to let you do this after you beat him in combat.
Of course, yeah.
So you go down there, you save his henchman, and you also save some fairies who were down there with his henchman, also trapped by whatever monster was down there. I don't even remember.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I don't either. What the fuck was it?
It was a carryover from a different Dragon Quest game. It was from Dragon Quest 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But then you defeat whatever monster it is. You save the fairies and his henchman, and on your way out, Robin Hood gives you the thief's key, which he nicked off of that other dude who was trying to swindle people. Really, just swindling all the way down.
And it doesn't stop there either.
No,
there's more swindling later.
Yeah, basically everybody is swindling everyone. So you get the key, you go over to the Quagmire Cave, which will lead you down to Remulder. And on the way, you run into those Tantagel guards again. Only one of them has been badly wounded or poisoned. I'm not 100% sure. He has some illness.
He's got the generic movie illness of occasionally coughing. They do say it was the swamp gas from the poison swamps everywhere, but then you walk through them all the fucking time.
You're just constantly walking through them, and you're fine. And you later learn that another character also has the funk, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So you go to Remulder. You're trying to get help for this injured guard or sick guard, whatever he is, the guy with the funk. And so you go to the local wizard, who is in the shop where you used to buy the keys in the original Dragon Quest. But it turns out he's trying to invent the magic key.
Mm-hmm.
Because the original magic key that Erdrick had been lost over the years. But there's still all these doors locked with the magic key all over the fucking world. But nobody has this key anymore. How do people live their lives in this anyway?
Well, she just bust down the wall.
Yeah, apparently just Dogi in the whole thing.
Yeah.
So he's trying to invent the magic key, and they call him the Warlock of Doorlocks, which is just such a cute name.
Love that.
I love that name. So he's trying to invent the magic key, but he's also a wizard. So you're like, well, can you go look at my friend to see if you can help him? And so he's like, all right, well, I can't, but I'll go help him while you go try to find my partner, because I can't make the key without my partner. Also, my partner's a dwarf, and also he's got the same funk.
Coincidentally.
Yeah. Also, there were no dwarves in the original. Those have been introduced, and
I guess I didn't realize that.
They used the same dwarf sprite that the dwarfs in Dragon Quest III used. So it's implied that they have also come to Alefgard over the years. So there were no fairies in the original either, except for the fairy flute. There were no fairies themselves, but they have been carried over from Dragon Quest III as well. So all this is just carryovers from Dragon Quest III to better tie the story together.
Yeah.
So you go to the Cave Dwarves, which is our first all-new dungeon in the game. And it's a little tough, but it's manageable. You get to the bottom of the Cave of Dwarves, and you encounter the Town of Dwarves, which is also a new area, obviously. And that's where you find the Warlock's assistant, and he's got his funk. And so the other dwarves say, oh, go check with the fairies. I bet they can cure the funk. So you go...
I like this dungeon because this is the first one that felt newer.
Yeah.
All the other ones just feel like NES dungeons blown up to 4 times the size. Like every room is gigantic. This one actually
clearly
felt like
has modern dungeon design involved.
Yeah, there's proper modern dungeon design. It's not just like, here's a big hole we chuck you into, and there's a big guy at the end. Like there were a lot of twists and turns and multiple passages and multiple different layer level sectioned off stuff.
Right.
This one was a lot more fun.
Yeah, much more interesting.
Yeah.
So now we go to the fairy village to go check with the fairies. And the fairies that you see there recognize you because you helped them in that cave earlier, but they still don't trust you because you're human. And they can't make the remedy without a recipe from their missing chief. But they say, well, since you saved us earlier, we're at least going to let you sleep here. And it's late, so go ahead and sleep here. Even though there's never been a day or night at any point in the game. Whatever. So you go to sleep, and in your dreams, a voice tells you the ingredients to make the remedy.
Yeah.
And then you tell the fairies, and like, that's weird, but let's try it, whatever. And so you go and get the ingredients, you come back, they make the remedy, it works.
Yeah. So the fairies do not talk in weird faux Middle English.
Right, which canonically makes sense.
It does, but it still feels really weird.
Yes.
Because they don't just not speak in faux Middle English, they speak very modern.
Yeah. So in Dragon Quest III, the main overworld that the character was born in and lives in his whole life, nobody speaks in the faux Middle English. And then you fall into Alefgard, and people speak faux Middle English. Well, the fairies existed in both the overworld and the underworld. So it is presumed that they live in both worlds and thus speak the more modern English because of it. But it's still awkward in game.
It still feels weird. And it weirdly enough, because almost none of the characters in the game are named.
Right.
The fairies are all named stuff like a arm twister, or like, you know, they just have weird non-names.
Yeah.
But it also seems like the fairies' non-names are actually names, because one of them refers to her own self by her non-name of like
Overseer?
arm twister or whatever. I don't remember who it was, but someone like they refer to themselves by their descriptive names, and I'm trying to figure out, like, is this the game like winking and nudging us, or are these their actual names?
I think it's trying to say that fairies use those as their names. Like, they use descriptions of themselves as their names.
But then so many other characters in the game have similar names. Yeah. So it kind of implies that name scheme may also apply to all those people.
I think it only canonically applies to the fairies.
Canonically, sure, but it makes no effort to refute either position.
Yeah.
Just weird. Weird stuff I was thinking about. Anyway, you get the sun-up syrup.
Yeah. So you make your sun-up syrup. You take it to the ill dwarf from the guard. And you get the magic key. And then as soon as you get the magic key, the fairies are like, hey, you need to return to our village.
Yeah.
So you go to their village, and they're like, you need to get the 5 sigils in order to bring back the goddess Rubis. It's the only way you're going to defeat the Dragon Lord. Which, first of all, no one ever told us that before. Why is this
Nope.
suddenly important? Anyway, so depending on how much you've explored the game thus far, you can make somewhere between 1 and 3 sigils immediately.
Yeah, I think I had 2 ready to go.
Yeah, I had 3. So you make your sigils. So do we want to just discuss the effects and everything of all the sigils here?
Yeah,
Or
so
do
the
we
different
wanna-
sigils give you different abilities, and they allow your abilities to be souped up versions if you're below 50% health.
No, only the soul sigil requires below 50% health.
What do the other ones require?
So, all right, so there's 5 sigils. You got your sun sigil, which makes your standard attacks and abilities more likely to crit.
Okay, yeah.
And that just happens all the time. You got your moon sigil, which increases the potency of your magic spells all the time.
Yeah, I remember that one.
That's the one that makes your heal spell slightly more effective. Your star sigil, which makes it to where if you use the defend option in battle, you recover MP.
Right.
Then you have your water sigil, which increases the potency of items. So items basically heal double what they normally would have.
Yeah.
And then your soul sigil.
And I guess the soul sigil is the only one that really fucking matters.
So when the
rest
upgrades
of-
abilities, yeah.
The rest of them just feel like shit. They're like the soul sigil is the new mechanic. The other shit
Right.
just feels like stuff they could have gave you with level ups, and they just
Exactly,
made it
yeah.
a thing.
Yeah.
But so the soul sigil abilities, you have to be below 50% health,
You don't have to be.
or be under the effects of focus pocus or reheal.
Right.
But again,
The
if
game
I'm below
doesn't tell
50
you that. The game just tells you below 50% HP
yeah.
until you finish the game.
If I'm below 50% HP,
I'm healing.
I'm healing or I'm fucking dead anyway.
Yeah.
And if I'm wasting a turn to turn on Focus Pocus or Reheal, I've wasted a turn.
Right.
And some of the upgraded abilities don't quite do over double the amount of damage the regular abilities do.
Right.
Which
But some
means
of
you
them,
would have...
attack multiple enemies, which the original one
That's
didn't.
true. That's true. And once you figure out what they all do, you can use some of them in interesting ways. It's just... It's
a very
poorly
awkward
telegraphed.
system.
It's
Yeah.
poorly put together. I wish there should be more ways to activate Soul Sigil.
Yeah.
Um,
And there
or at
should be
least-
in-battle tooltips to tell you about it, too.
yeah, it's all just, I think, it feels kind of slapped on there.
It feels like they wanted it to be a big mystery, but because of that, it just makes it an awkward system that you probably won't learn how to use without looking it up online.
Yeah, and by the end of the game, it was like, all right, either I have enough turns to do Focus Pocus and then Wild Side and then whatever they're weak to a couple times, or I die. Those are the two options in any kind of boss battle.
I don't think I used Wild Side at all.
Oh, I use Wild Side all the time. It was going to any battle and it was Focus Pocus, Wild Side, and then just hammer them with whatever they're weak to. And then
I did
repeat.
not know that Focus Pocus and Reheal allowed you to use your Soul Sigil abilities until after I beat the game.
Yeah, I did because you complained about it, and then
Yeah.
I read the tooltip that you shared a picture of.
Yeah.
I don't know. The
They
sigils
give you
in
that
general,
tooltip after you beat the game, which that's not a useful time for that.
as someone who often comes up with little mechanics and things for like tabletop RPGs and stuff,
Mhm.
this sounds like a thing that someone thought up and was like, oh, that'd be a really cool idea. But then there was no like honing done to it.
Right.
And then when you actually get to it in the game, you're like, oh, that's a neat idea, but it kind of doesn't work with the way the action economy of this game is.
Yeah, but then some of the bosses feel like they kind of require it.
They absolutely require it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess you can hammer your way through them eventually, but it just seems like they either take for fucking ever or take 1,000 tries. Like,
That was my approach.
yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I like the idea of the sigils, but I don't think it was implemented well or meaningfully. And also only really one of them seems to fucking noticeably do much. The other things are just like, here's some occasional bonuses. Yeah. And then this other one's like, here's an entirely new mechanic that's virtually required for chunks of the game.
Right.
Which feels
very strange.
Again, like so much of this game, lopsided.
Yeah.
Weird. It's
yeah. It feels like it could have used a bit more playtesting just to kind of tune some of the mechanics, because there's a lot of interesting ideas.
I feel like there should be more ways to activate soul sigils. I feel like Whenever you crit, you should activate. Like that'd be a fun idea. Like, oh, you critted, and so now your soul sigil's activated for a turn, or just any.
It should be noted that in Dragon Quest II, there are different ways to activate them.
So it sounds like an idea that came up with Dragon Quest II, and we're like, how do we backport this to one without actually making it work?
Yeah, because each character has different abilities that cause them to activate. Instead of just focus, pocus, and reheal, it's different for each of the 4 characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting.
So, anyway. Yeah. All right. So, getting back to the story. Saving the princess is no longer optional. It was optional in the original game. Now you have to do it. So you get the magic key. You got to go save the princess.
I want to talk about the magic key real quick, because you get it from the Warlock of Dorlocks.
Yes.
And his dwarf friend shows up, and they're like, all right, we got the magic key. We'll give it to you. It was the making of the magic key, which is what we are interested in, which makes no fucking sense, but okay.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we can keep making them with worse things, worse ingredients. They won't last as long, but we can still sell them for a lot of money. And I'm like, you're admitting to crimes right now.
Yeah.
Stop telling me about the crimes you're going to commit together.
They're immediately like, here you go. Here's the multi-use magic key. Now we're going to make a whole shitload of single-use magic keys, and we're going to sell the fuck out of them to people. We're just going to abuse the economy.
Which is funny, because I like that that's the idea of like what the original game was.
Right, yeah.
But still, it was goofy to see them plotting their crimes.
Yeah, I love it. That was great.
Anyway, go ahead.
Sorry. So yeah, we get the magic key. We're going to go save the princess. So we go to the Quagmire Cave. It's much bigger than it was before. There's this whole like basement area that you have to go through to get to the Green Dragon. The Green Dragon is now a dedicated boss instead of just a regular enemy encounter that they throw at you, which means he has a lot more HP than he did in the original, and it's a much more challenging fight. It's not impossible like most of the later bosses, but it is a lot more challenging.
Yeah, I think he was the last boss that I fought in. Because I guess I lucked out. I got him in one try, and I fought him, and I was like, man, that was pretty tough, but like enjoyable. Like exactly there was where I wanted the game to be difficulty wise.
Yeah, same here. That was the last one where I was like, that was fun, tough, but fair.
Yeah,
and then they started to feel less fair every boss after that.
Yeah.
So, like in the original, you're under no obligation to return her to Tantagel. You can just carry her for the rest of the game. I didn't, because I didn't. I wish I had. If you do return her to Tantagel, she gives you her pendant through which she telepathically communicates with you, just like in the original.
I want to
apparently if you don't return her, she just stands behind you and says these things out loud, standing next to you for the rest of the game. Which honestly feels like it makes more sense with the rest of the game.
It does. I have a problem with this telepathic communication because this is mostly used as a way for characters to converse, despite the fact that you are, for story purposes, mute mostly, which is weird. So like your character in battle talks nonstop to the point that I had to turn the voices down. It was driving me crazy.
Yeah.
But and is talking to people in dialogue scenes, but it's just you moving your hands to mimic talking. Your character never says any lines.
Yeah, it's the way that Yuji Horii writes all protagonists is they are silent, but not actually silent. Like the other characters interact as if they are talking to them, but they don't want to give you the words they are saying so that the player can inject those into the script themselves.
Right. And like every other time he's done it, it's fucking dumb. I don't like it. If either they talk or they don't talk. This in-between shit. And then he still talks, so I can't even insert my own voice because he has a fucking voice and he uses it all the time.
See, I guess it's because I started with these games so early in the NES era and everything that in my mind that makes total sense. And also while I'm just like roaming around with my party of adventurers, I assume they are having conversations and play them out in my head as I'm grinding enemies or whatever. So I have no problem inserting dialogue for them. That's never bothered me.
I don't mind that, but again, they're either mute or they're not for me. It's this weird in between. But my back to my original problem, which is because you don't have dialogue in the game, for a lot of story segments to make sense, characters have to talk telepathically either to or through you.
Right.
Because otherwise it would just be characters talking to you and then you flapping your hands.
Yeah, and so instead they just have Rubus or Gwalen or both telepathically communicating through you, and then everyone else can hear them for some reason.
And that's all fine, but every time you get a phone call from them, you have to wait for the action to pause, the
Yeah.
screen dims, and then
Yeah.
the words fade in on the screen slowly.
Yeah.
And I
With
know
a
it's
voiceover too.
with the voiceover, and I know
Yeah.
it's a little thing.
Yeah.
But it makes delivering 2 lines of dialogue take 10 times longer than it should, and it ended up bothering me a lot by the end. I was like, can we fucking get on with it?
It didn't bug me too much. I can get where it would bug somebody, so I understand.
It's just, I wasn't like, I fucking hate this.
Right,
it was
right,
just a little annoyance. It was just you're saying, some of them, it was like 4 words. And I'm like, we had to pause everything for 9 seconds for you to say 4 words. Like, this is
I think
why?
after playing Dragon Quest Builders 2, I'm completely immune to this, because in Dragon Quest Builders 2, anytime Hargon speaks to Malroth, it freezes the action, and he speaks like one word at a time in slow motion every single time, and the whole action is frozen, and you can't advance the dialogue, so you have to watch it at that speed, and it's painful. And I think because of that, I've become immune to it in every other game.
Also, I want to talk about this because I get the feeling all of this characterization of the princess, because she goes through like they kind of torture her a little bit. Like, she's going through some real emotional torture while she's captured, and there's some real harrowing scenes with her, being very brave.
Yeah.
And they're kind of building her up as this kind of independent character that gets to be her own character, which is cool.
Until she meets you.
Then she meets you, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she's madly in love with you because you approached her on a moonlit rooftop, which is apparently all it takes. And now you're her beloved, and she loves you. And it feels
in the original, she fell in love with you on the walk back to the castle. There's no dialogue at all. Just by the time you get to the castle, she's like, "Oh, I'm madly in love with you."
It feels weird, like this character that it feels like they're trying to make them kind of get to be her own character, and then they're like, "Oh no, my man showed up. She's in love with him now." And you're like, "Well, that's fucking Christ. This is stupid."
Of all the things that they fleshed out and padded and added more description and purpose behind, this was the one they needed to, and they didn't for some reason.
Yeah, they could have added anything, just a couple of interstitial dialogue lines before she's like, "You're my beloved." Like give me something, man.
They could have had like a cut scene, like as you're leaving the cave, where the two of you have to camp out for the night, and you become in love with one another or whatever. But they didn't. Instead, they just have you take her to the castle, and again, she falls in love with you. Now, granted, it was one of my favorite parts of the original game was anytime you would talk to her in the castle after you saved her, she would just say, "Dost thou love me?" And it would be a dialogue box, the yes, no. And if you say no, she just says, "But thou must, dost thou love me?" And then it gives you the same box again and again and again forever until you eventually say yes. And then she says, "I'm so happy." And it plays a little chime, a little melody. And that was always one of my favorite parts. It's the stupidest shit. It makes no sense. But I've always loved it. And I forgot to test out if she does it in this one.
Oh, I didn't even know to try. So no, I didn't
there
try to
there is a dialogue box where she does ask if you love her, and if you say no, she does force you to do it again during the story. So at least they kept that in.
I just also, it feels, this is kind of a weird thing, but he never gets out of his fucking full armor with a giant horned helm.
Correct, yeah.
So like, even at the end of the game where it's like, we've saved everything, now we can live our lives together, he's like, great, this doesn't come off ever. Like, it's just fucking
the
weird.
armor stays on.
Back to the story at hand.
So there's a bridge southeast of Demdara, which is broken for some reason in this one. It wasn't broken in the original, but it is now. And it's our only remaining path. So our only remaining path aside from that broken bridge is to go towards Cantlin. So now we're going to go towards Cantlin. So we get to Cantlin, and we encounter, on our way, we encounter our next new dungeon, which is Weirdwood, which did not exist in the original, and I hated it. So the Weirdwood is basically a Lost Wood style maze until you get lost, and then Gwaelin chimes in, either telepathically or not, and she uses her powers to clear the path. I don't know what she does, but suddenly you can see now.
ESP?
Yep. Suddenly your map works. So you go forward, you encounter a boss with some smog monsters. This was the first boss that I had a little bit of a problem with. And I looked it up, and I found that you could use the Soul Sigil to just one-shot them, which was frustrating. So you defeat those. you find the fairy chief, who had been captured by these monsters, and she's been the one communicating with you the whole time. Her name was the Dream Speaker or something.
Something like that.
So she's been talking to you in your dreams. She returns. You help her return to her village, and then they explain to you need Edric's token. It's missing. In the original game, you just go pick it up in the swamp. It's just like on the floor. You go search there and you grab it. And that was the only time you needed Gwaelin's telepathy. Was anytime you spoke to her telepathically by using her token, she would say, "You were exactly 80 steps south and 40 steps east of the castle. I love you." But now she doesn't tell you that. Instead, there's now an inn nearby that swamp, but the token itself is gone. So you go to Cantlin, you face the golem just like normal. The fairy flute does not play a melody when you use it in battle now, and that upsets me. I
wouldn't
offended
know
by
because
this.
I didn't try to play the flute.
Apparently not.
I put him to sleep manually.
God. But what's even more frustrating is the sound effect that is played in battle on NES is in this collection, because in Dragon Quest II, when you're forced to play the fairy flute, it plays the fucking melody. So they made it. They put it in the game.
More
and they
laziness.
didn't play it during battle, and I'm upset. Anyway, so you defeat the golem. You go into Cantlin. The people of Cantlin, in the original, were protected by the golem. The golem was protecting them from all the enemies around. And in this version, the golem had turned traitor, and it was holding them hostage. And so they're all like, "Oh, thank you for defeating the golem." Whereas in the original, they were like, "Did you defeat our golem? We needed
what the fuck,
that,
man. What
What if the Dragon Lord invades us now?" So now they're very happy that you defeated it. Also their priest is missing, but they can't go after him because of that one broken bridge. So they can't repair the bridge because the Dragon Lord's minions keep attacking them anytime they try to. So they're like, if only there were a way that we could repair the bridge overnight, then we could go over there. Because apparently if it happens overnight, their Dragon Lord's minions can't do anything about it.
It seems like at night is when the monsters would come out more. I don't understand.
So you go to the dwarves and you're like, "Hey, can you fix a bridge overnight?" And they're like, "We can fucking fix a bridge overnight."
They're stoked to do it.
That is our secret sauce, man.
They were into it.
Yeah. So they show up, they fix the bridge, and then you go to the new dungeon, the Weeping Isle. And what's weird is
tough. Weeping Isle is a pretty tough one.
Yeah, it was also a tough one. What's weird to me though is the dwarves, like, every time you've encountered them the whole game, they're like, "We don't want to interact with humans. We don't want to be around humans. We hate humans. We will not let humans know we exist."
We didn't know that humans had bridges. Hold on. Wait a minute. You go back up.
And then as soon as you mention this bridge, they're like, "We're going to fucking move into that human town. That's going to be our home now. We're going to love everyone. We are a part of culture."
So into it.
This is very strange. Anyway, so you go to Weeping Isle. Very difficult dungeon. There's some more of Dragon Lord's minions. They're holding the priest captive, and they want information out of the priest about Rubus and the sigils, I think. And he keeps refusing, and then they just turn up with his son that was assumed dead years ago, who lived in Damdara, and they apparently had kept him hostage this whole time since Damdara. And they're like, "All right, well, we're going to kill him if you don't give us the information." So he's like, "All right, cool, I'll give you the information." And he immediately tells them everything, and then you kill them before they can use the information. But then they kill the priest because he jumps in to save his son.
Yeah.
It's a very melodramatic sequence.
Yeah, it's pretty dark part. You know. Yeah.
You bring the son back to Cantlin, where everybody mourns his father. And then the fairies telepathically communicate with you because they can also telepathically communicate.
Everyone,
now.
but you can't even speak words, but everyone else is fucking Professor X over here.
But they can only talk to you. So maybe you're the telepath.
But sometimes I can talk to other people or each other.
True. Anyway, whatever.
It's like you're a weird, like party line conduit.
It's very strange. Anyway, so fairies telepathically say, "Please return to our village. We're under attack." So you go to their village, and you encounter the major difficulty spike, which is a couple of dragon zombies, which these things killed me so many fucking times.
Me too. I want to talk about this fight. 'Cause first of all, this is when the story gets really dark. So they're like killing fairies and shit, and it's dark. But I was so mad because I just got done with the golem not long ago, and sleep was the secret trick. Well, the flute was the secret trick, but I didn't know that at the time.
Apparently.
And in the cutscene leading up to this very hard boss fight, one of the fairies casts sleep and then shouts, "It worked!"
Yeah.
And then they try to run away from the dragon zombie, but a second one shows up and kills one of them.
Yeah.
Which is an obvious clue to use sleep.
But then if you use it in battle, it says they're resistant to this spell.
It does not affect them whatsoever.
Yeah.
So why, pray tell, would you put in a specific moment in the cutscene where they say, "Oh, sleep! Oh, it worked! Run away!" I died in like 5 times in a row because I was like, am I casting sleep wrong? And do I got to do it in a certain order? I couldn't. I was like, why would you give me this clue?
So
and then it does nothing.
I hung out outside of Cantlin and just used the whistle spell to grind 5 levels.
Yeah.
And then I went back to it and beat them because that battle was tough. But then immediately after you help the fairies, you go to Cole and are put through another crazy difficult boss fight.
Which one is this one?
It's the spike tail, the dragonfly.
Oh, that guy's not too bad if you do the souped up gust slash, but it was still tough. He got me a few times.
I didn't know how to use the souped up gust slash, so I couldn't kill all of his minions because he keeps summoning them over and over and over and over again, and I couldn't kill them faster than he could summon them. And I was just getting wrecked.
You spiral fast on that one.
So I went back to grinding until I learned the Kazap spell, because Kazap one-shots him. So I just came back, used Kazap, then kept fighting him, used Kazap every time he would summon him again, and then killed him. And so at this point, you should have made all 5 sigils. If not, you can go get the stuff and make all 5 sigils. And they tell you they need the fairy flute, which you already have because you used it to kill the golem, right, Justin?
No, I went and got it at this point, I think.
Oh. Well, you should have had it to kill the golem.
The weird thing about the fairy flute is it's just on the fucking ground somewhere.
Yeah, it's the same place it was in the original.
Next
to
a bath.
That's the one thing they didn't move.
They're just like, it's just on the fucking ground. And I was like, what in the hell? It's next to this like naked guy who's scared about getting in the bathtub.
The fairy flute is in that same location in Cole in every game that there is a Cole in the entire series. That's been a recurring thing. If there is a Cole, the fairy flute is sitting there. Even in games where it serves no purpose, you can get the fairy flute there.
Well, it's weird that it's just lying on the ground.
Yep. But you also need the Lyre of Ire, which is the harp that was supposed to be taken to the Shrine of Rain in the original.
Right.
Now you need it to summon Rupus. So you go
we need to summon
grave.
Rubus for her to do a thing.
For her to be Rubus.
For her to exist.
Yes.
So
she'll hold back the darkness. Now, granted,
but that's what you're doing.
There has been little purple dots added to the overworld now.
That's
now
true.
There's little particle effects.
I thought that was a cool touch.
Yeah. At this point of the game is when the particle effects show up, and Rubus will stop the particle effects. That's what she is for.
Yeah.
So you have to go to the Galen's Grave, which is a recurring dungeon. It's basically just recreated from the NES era. It's not too bad. It wasn't too tough.
Yeah.
You get the lyre. You come back. The fairies direct you back to the Shrine of Rain, so you go there. But the dude that you're supposed to trade the harp with is no longer there. He's missing. But now you have all the keys, so you can go all the way to the top of the tower, where you find that the dude is there, but he's being confronted by one of the minions. So you fight the minion, you get the Staff of Rain, and then the fairies and the dude tell you, well, go get the Sunstone, and then you can get the Rainbow Drop. Which you could have already gotten the Sunstone many hours ago. As soon as you had the Thief's Key, I think, maybe the Magic Key. Might have been the Magic Key.
You go talk to the guy.
Yeah, you just go talk to the guy and he gives it to you, just like in the original.
Was that the guy that was like, now I can retire?
Yeah. Now I can go to bed
sitting
forever.
Around waiting to give a guy a rock. Like, dude, you could have been off doing shit. I wouldn't have known. It would have been fine. You could have left a note, been like, Sunstone here, please wait, back in 5.
Well, in the original NES version, he tells you, like, I have been waiting for so long to be the prophesied person to hand you the Stones of Sunlight, and then he hands them to you. And then he just stands there the rest of the game. And in all of the remakes since the Super NES, he's like, now I can rest, and he just goes to a bed and sleeps the rest of the game. And I don't know.
Tired.
He's very tired. I don't know why he's been so tired, but... So you get the Staff of Rain, you got the Sunstone, but you still need the token, which is not in the swamp anymore. And you talk to the fairies, and they're like, it's in the swamp. And so you go to the swamp, but now there's a shrine there that wasn't there moments ago. And they're like, oh, now the magic of Rubus will make the shrine appear.
I don't think Rubus does shit. I'm just going to throw it out there. I think she's a fraud.
Yeah.
I don't believe in Rubus.
It turns out it was all snake oil. She's just snake oil.
I summoned her and I don't believe in her. So I'm just saying that's how effective she is.
She's much more useful in Dragon Quest II, just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway. So you go to the Shrine of Rubus, which is in the swamp now, just like it was in Dragon Quest III. So I guess it makes sense that it's there, but it doesn't make sense that it wasn't there the whole game so far.
Right.
But you go there, and this is where you fight the Armageddon boss, which that guy is tough. That is a rough fight.
That was a bullshit ass fight.
Yeah, that one was tough.
And what's frustrating about it is he keeps acting like he's going to go in a pattern, and then he'll fuck up his pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And because it was the little magic shield thing or anti-magic thing or whatever, and then 2 melee attacks, and then a cop out, and then 2 melee attacks, and then a magic thing, and then he'll do that for 2 or 3 cycles, and then he'll just quit doing that.
Yeah, I just rematched that fight like a half dozen times till I finally got a good pattern.
I think I did it maybe 20, 30 times. I sat there for like an hour and a half just fighting this fucking guy. And then finally I was like, I guess I have to leave and go grind or turn the difficulty down. Like I just physically, I was looking it up online.
That was the first battle where I really had to spam meditation to stay alive.
I didn't have meditation at that point in the game.
Well, that would explain why you had such a hard time with it.
All right, because I had not gotten 36 mini medals.
Yeah, I had. I'd already gotten all the mini medals.
As
soon as they gave me that Snoop ability, I was like, "Oh, I guess I'm going to go get all the mini."
Well, I didn't get Snoop until I had unlocked the Dragon Lord's castle.
Oh, damn! Yeah,
I completely missed it. Like I just I remember where it was. It was in one of the towns in like a drawer or some shit.
Yeah.
I think it was in Tantagel. Was it in the castle? Maybe. I really don't remember. But I just missed it.
Yeah.
I didn't know it existed, and so I was fucked.
Yeah, I'd fortunately gotten that. As soon as I got every key, I went around to every town again just to check to see if there was an area that I could unlock and raided everything. So I probably got Snoop that way.
I'd been doing pretty good. I was like 25, 27 mini medals, and I'd been trying to grab stuff, but I, like you, didn't realize that shit could just be on the ground in some grass. I was checking all the pots and drawers, but I wasn't mashing the X button over every square of everything I passed through.
Yeah, I wasn't really either. If the pop-up showed up that said interact, then I would hit the button, but otherwise I wasn't.
I just missed a few.
So we got our token. You've got all 5 sigils. We've got the flute. We got the lyre. So we get to go get the rainbow drop.
Mm-hmm.
So we go get the rainbow drop. Then we go to Dragon Lord's castle. There is an optional side quest that allows you to meet up with Zaylin, who is a descendant of Galen.
Yeah.
So you basically go to all those places, and then once you've been to all the places Zaylin sends you to, the fairies will take you to the island off the west coast of Tantagel, where Edric first arrived in Alfgard back in Dragon Quest III, and you learn more of his backstory, and you get the helmet, which I thought that was really neat to give some extra backstory there.
Cute touch.
Also, probably should have gotten Edric's armor at some point from the Axe Knight in Damdara. That's a real tough fight when you first can get there.
I never went to Damdara, completely missed it on the map.
Oh, damn.
Until Dragon Lord's castle.
Oh, yeah. See, as soon as I went to that area of the map, I was like, I'm going to go to Damdara, going to try to get Edric's armor because that's where it is. Because that's where it was in the original. So I was just like, I'm just going to go hit that. And so I tried to do it immediately. So I was like level 15.
Oh, no.
And I was like, well, I'm usually like level 15, 16 when I get Edric's armor in the original because the level cap is 30 and I can usually beat the game at 20. So I'm like, I'm in this area anyway. I'm level 15. Let's see if I can get it. Just got my shit stomped in. And then like 5-10 levels later, I was like, oh, I'm going to head back to Damdara, try to get the armor. Got my dick kicked in. And I'm just like, what level do I have to be to get this? And it was around the time that you save the fairies from the dragon zombies, and I did all that grinding. And I was like, I did all that fucking grinding. I'm gonna go see if I can get the goddamn armor, and I was able to get it at that point. But it's still a tough fight.
No, I just by happenstance, the game never forces you to go to Damdara.
No, yeah, it's an optional area.
And I just every time I was in that part of the continent, I just happened to go south of it and never noticed it. And I had unlocked. I was at the Dragon Lord's castle, and that's when I went back and I found Snoop. and I was like, I was looking something. I was trying to find mini medals.
Hmm.
And so I'm like Googling like mini medal lists, and they're like, go to Damdara. And I was like, where the fuck is Damdara? I don't have a Damdara.
Yeah, in the original game, it was called Hawksness, or in the original translation, rather. And so in my mind, it's still Hawksness. And so it's weird to me calling it Damdara.
Finally, I looked it up, and I was like, oh, there's a whole fucking place I haven't been.
Yeah.
And went back there and got all the shit and kicked that guy's ass pretty easy.
Yeah.
But by then, I was like level 48.
Oh, yeah, it'd be pretty easy at that point, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I recommend doing it at 48.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So you use the rainbow drop, you make the bridge to get to the center island. Edric's sword is inside. If you found the 40 mini medals, you also have the metal wing boomerang, which is nearly as powerful as Edric's sword, and it hits all enemies. So probably going to use that for most encounters.
I'm missing 4 medals. I sat down and went through a list of all 40, and I went to each one, and somehow still am missing 4. So I don't fucking know what I did.
Oh yeah, I already had the metal wing boomerang. I just stormed through the castle. It's not too bad with the metal wing boomerang.
I'm debating whether I want to go back and get those 4 or not. I don't know if I care enough.
And when you encounter the Dragon Lord, he does ask if you would like to give up your pursuit and instead join him in exchange for half the world.
Right. Which of course I did.
Which you do. And in the original, the game just ends. Like it just darkens the screen, keeps playing the music of the dungeon. It's just like, well, that's the end of the game. You decide to team up with the Dragon Lord. Whereas in this one, instead, you wake up in the inn and you're like,
they make it a dream sequence.
What a bad dream. Which I was a little saddened by. I really wanted that to be an alternate ending. But
well, what I liked was he's like, we rule half the world with me. And if you say yes, he goes, all right, but you got to give me your sword. And you say yes. If you say no there, he fights you. But if you say yes to that, you wake up in the inn. And I was like, oh shit, did he take my sword? And they unequip your sword, but you keep it. And I thought that was cute.
Yeah, that was cute.
Because I like, oh shit, like, oh fuck, when was my last save?
Right.
Oh god, I lost Erdrick's sword. I gave it to him. And it was in my inventory.
I thought I was going to have to go find it in the dungeon again. And I was like, oh shit, I'm just going to have to deal with the metal wing boomerang. But
yeah. The end of the game is pretty straightforward. I kind of wouldn't, like you said, I wouldn't have minded if they added some endings or some, zhuzhed up the final leg there. It's pretty just
because the original has 3 endings. Because the original has the ending where you accept joining the Dragon Lord, where you just sit there on a frozen screen, or it's got the ending where you never saved Gwaelin, and the king is like, "Thank you for saving the kingdom. It's a shame my daughter's dead."
Oh my
anyway,
God.
Good luck out there. And then there's the good ending.
Right. Where you save everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
But this one just has the good ending, which makes more sense. Canonically, he does save Gwaelin because Dragon Quest II accepts that the 2 of them had a bunch of babies and formed kingdoms and shit.
I guess we're kind of transitioning into final thoughts because really it just sort of ends. I was really expecting the end to be a little more bombastic for all the work they did on especially in the first third of the game. I was like, man, they probably really did it up. And it's like, no, you fight the guy and then he turns into a different guy and then you fight that guy and then it's dead.
Yeah, I mean, it does show you and Gwaelin going off and
oh, that's true. Yeah, you do that, and then you do get the post-credit scene where they kind of allude to Dragon Quest II.
Yeah, where they show. There was also a post-credit scene in the HD-2D remake of Dragon Quest III that alluded to 2. So they've really been hyping up 2 this whole time, and having now played through 2, I get it because man, they really went full speed on 2. That one's an excellent remake.
So as far as final thoughts, I found the experience very uneven.
Yeah.
The parts I enjoyed about it were very enjoyable and fun and cute, and it was a really fun RPG, and I liked it. And then the parts I found unenjoyable were really frustrating and felt like they were done out of laziness, out of inattentiveness, out of maybe hurrying or just not caring about the product.
Yeah.
And so I struggle, right? Because I think overall I would rate it as it was okay. It was fun.
Yeah.
It sounds like the reason to buy it is for Dragon Quest II.
Yeah.
But I would say it was okay. I think the whole game was 13 hours for me.
Yeah, that's about somewhere between 10 and 15 hours for me.
But also like the story doesn't do much. It's not super engaging. It can be really frustrating. It just, it's like a C+ experience for me. And it's hard to say that because the good parts were really good and really cool. Yeah. And the bad parts was like, who fucking vetted this?
I would probably give it a B+. Because I thought it was fine. I thought they did a fine job interpreting the original Dragon Quest into more of a modern Dragon Quest game without completely just throwing it out and starting over from scratch. They kept enough of the DNA there that you can see where the original game was. For me, it doesn't replace the original. For me, it feels more like a movie remake or an adaptation of a TV show into a movie or something like that, where they have changed it enough to make it its own thing, but it doesn't replace the original for me. I'd probably recommend it to new players who have played like Dragon Quest 11 or Dragon Quest 8.
Yeah, and aren't quite ready for the
original
age of the original. Yeah, because it's aged. Even the Game Boy version and stuff is it's
a little older.
A little older.
I mean, even the Game Boy version is well over 20 years old, over 25 years old at this point. So,
Yeah. I think, and we were talking about this in the chat, I kind of wish they had gone one of two different directions with it. I kind of wish they had gone kind of closer to the original, more traditional, more like, hey, we really are just representing the original game with quality of life and HD-2D, or go full Final Fantasy VII remake with it. Like you just like straight up, like this is a reimagined thing. I like this kind of in the middle.
I'm not unhappy with what they did. My only serious complaint is with the difficulty. If they could tune the difficulty a little bit better, I'd be perfectly fine with it. I think that's a decent approach at modernizing Dragon Quest 1. I would have preferred more things be optional like they were in the original game. Because for me, a lot of what made the original Dragon Quest 1 so great was the simplicity of it, because it is a very basic, straightforward adventure where you're having to inject your own creativity into so much of it, because it's incredibly abstract. And in this one, they defined so much of it. They went to such great detail to define so many things that it does feel a little half-baked at times because of trying to fit it into that abstract package.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I agree that I think the difficulty in the action economy and the combat in general was kind of my biggest thorn in my side as well. I think if that wasn't there at all, I probably would have been much more forgiving with all of the other weird little inconsistencies and little annoyances here and there.
But fortunately, it comes with Dragon Quest 2, which is just an excellent remake.
Again, I don't think this is a bad game. The 90% of my complaints could be fixed with a patch or two, which who knows if they'll ever happen.
Right. I have seen several online discussions say that with this update, Dragon Quest 2 has gone from probably the worst game in the series to one of the best games in the series. I don't know I'm 100% ready to go there yet, but it is definitely excellent and worth playing. So
it's funny. I finished 1 and I was like, man, I'm going back to Cold Steel. And you're like, oh, 2 is so good. And I was like,
it's very good.
Maybe I'll fucking play. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that.
It's already in your system. I mean, you gotta.
There you go. You know what else you gotta do, Saturn?
Masturbate?
No, that's optional. But you go to our Patreon at patreon.com/retrowarriors, where we've got other shows, Read Along and Talking Wizards, and this show, but uncut.
Like a penis.
Retro Warriors Uncircumcised. It's our new. Makes me want to name one of them that just to see if anyone notices.
Well, it was the whole shtick of that South Park movie. We can't steal that.
Oh yeah, that's true. Anyway, we want to thank the following patrons for their kind donations, starting with Shinobi
and Mark Schwickendiehoffmeyer,
Norman,
A Lonely Depressed Pixel,
Elson Raves,
These B-Squatch,
STG the Mr. Guy.
Oh, maybe that was the Seb Squatch.
The Seb Squatch. Yeah, that's
my
what
bad.
It was. Yeah.
Hey, The words were smushed together. I didn't know where the division was. The Coffee Samurai.
Retro Video Game Zone Jason.
And David Debro.
All gave us money.
Yay.
Yay. We love money.
We spent it on candy.
Money can't buy happiness, but it can buy things that make me happy.
Like candy.
Like I bought 5 pounds of discount Halloween candy, and that was a medical mistake is what I've learned. Medically
I bought no
concerning
Halloween candy this year.
It was half off, Saturn.
0 Halloween candy this year.
I got green Kit Kats and Bat Reese's.
I was trying to be good,
man.
so I bought no candy at all.
Do you call it Reese's or Reese's?
Reese's.
Me and my wife call it Reese's.
Why?
And we know it's incorrect.
Okay.
I like how I can feel how angry you are.
I am, yeah.
Fucking why? Tell me why. I don't know why. We just started doing it, both of it. Neither of us said anything. We got some Reese's Pieces, and I called them Reese's Pieces, and then we called them Reese's Pieces for a week, and then now we just say Reese's. We don't call them Reese's anymore.
Call them Reese's Feces?
No, that's a separate product.
Oh, good.
It's illegal in a lot of states.
That's what E.T. poops out.
This whole show made me remember I have a Dragon Quest tabletop RPG that I keep meaning to force you to play. And it's very cute. It's like all pixel art, and it's got little slimes and everything. I mean, obviously it's not licensed, so it's all serial numbers filed off. But it's like literally is Dragon Quest. It's got like little overworlds and stuff. And
I thought you were going to tell me it was all Dragon Quest and cute, and then when I get there, it was going to be that old TSR Dragon Quest game from the...
I have that
80s.
too.
Oh,
I know I sent it to you when I bought it, and I was like, Saturn, look, Dragon Quest. Yeah, I bought that. I got it at a NTRPG Con a couple years ago.
Nice.
Complete, and I've played it a couple times. It's it's okay if you like D&D. I hadn't done anything to do with Dragon Quest.
Yeah, right.
But I do have a indie developed like Dragon Quest with serial numbers filed off.
Nice.
Tabletop RPG that I'm like, one day I need to make Saturn play that. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for listening to the show. We'll be back next week, and as always, let us cling together.